Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were lackluster as we had mixed earning picture, particularly McDonald's and few other companies numbers were not good. Also existing home sales data also was weaker than expectations. So we've not seen any major action in the US markets. Same was the case with the European markets also. They ended with a flat to marginally negative bias. However, UBS there came out with a good set of numbers and that stock actually was up almost about 2.5 to 3% with huge volumes, and Portuguese market also did extremely well. Today morning when we look at the Asian markets, most of them are actually running away. Nikkei is up almost about 1.4%. Same is the case with Chinese markets and some of the other Asian markets like Korea. So most of them are up about 1.25 to almost about 1.75%, and that has a rub-off effect on the SGX Nifty, which is also up almost 40 points. So we are seeing steady up move in the Nifty for the past many trading sessions, and it's pretty close to about 6050, 6070 levels, which has been a key resistance for the past few days. So if we see that level being taken out, then there could be some more upside as we are also approaching expiry. In terms of flows, friends, FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of about 211 crore. And domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of about 342 odd crore, and in the index futures we have seen buying by the FIs to the tune of 511 crore. Also importantly, gold prices have actually surged to almost about 1330 odd levels, and after almost about 2 to 3 months we are seeing these kind of levels on the gold prices as far as international markets are concerned. On that note, let me invite Sadhna to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. Due to earnings seasons and ahead of expiry which is due on this Thursday, markets are continue to trade very volatile. But from third day in a row, we have seen market participants have accumulated long positions. And in yesterday's trade also, we have seen around 6.94 lakh shares were added in open interest, and cost of carry also increased by 2%, which is indicating long positions were built up. And put call ratio increased from 1.31 to 1.32, indicating put option has added around 13 lakh shares in open interest, whereas call option has added around 3 lakh shares in open interest, which is clearly visible in the put option in the options activity. We can see a 6000 put option followed by 6100 this month, and next month also has seen a good activity, whereas call option 6100 this month as well as next month has seen a good activity. Overall, our bias for the market is positive, and any dip in the market can be taken an opportunity to go long. From intraday perspective, one can go long on Sun Pharmaceuticals with a stop loss of 1095.10 paisa. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, the companies which will be announcing numbers. KPIT comments, we are looking at a net profit of about 58.1 crore, and in case of Shriram Transport Finance, we are looking at a net profit of about 366 crore. L&T came out with numbers yesterday during the market hours, and the numbers were disappointing on most of the parameters. Top line growth, operating profit margins as well as net profit was way below market expectations, and the top line growth was barely about 5%, as some of the segments like power and few others, actually the growth was quite muted. And the operating profit margin also came in at about 8.5%, which was way below market expectations of about 9.3. The only good takeaway was that the management commentary and the guidance was good, and they have maintained the guidance despite the weaker than expected set of numbers, and the order inflow was also good at about 25,000 crore for the quarter. The stock was down almost about 7%. Most of the research houses have lowered their earnings forecast for the next couple of years by about 8 to 10%. So overall sentiment towards L&T in the short run is likely to remain weak. RBI has put further restrictions on the import of gold, and they have mandated the bank to re-export at least about 15 to 20% of the gold which is being imported, and basically it means that the current companies which are importing gold for their own businesses, if they don't have much of an export component, then their business could actually suffer. So some of the companies like Titan and TBZ, which don't have a meaningful component of the export, this move is viewed negatively for them. Bombay Rayons has taken to the CDR cell for their cash flow and debt problems, and some of the bankers like State Bank of India and few others which have a consortium basically would go to the CDR sale, and which is definitely a bit of a negative for the Bombay Rayon's fashion stock. And the Coal India trade unions might soften their stance against the divestment, and they could allow the stake purchase by other state-owned firms in Coal India Limited. So, bit of a relief for Coal India because of this development. UCB, which is a global biopharma company, along with others, have filed separate cases against the major Indian companies including Ranbaxy, Aurobindo Pharma, Zydus Cadila, Sun Pharma, Glenmark and Alembic Pharma for infringing its patent on the drug called Vimpat. So this is a bit of a negative for some of these domestic pharma companies, though the impact may not be huge as it is spread across about 6 to 7 companies. Government has reached the consensus on the new definition of the control. This is more relevant for the current deal or tussle which is going on between the Jet Etihad deal and the FIPB and SEBI. And as per the new definition of the control, it means the ability of the company to appoint majority directors in the company and to influence the management or policy decisions. So if there are changes in the agreement that the Jet and Etihad deal have drafted, then this could actually pave the way for the FIPB and the SEBI approval, and this deal could be concluded. Bayer Crop Science has unanimously approved the buyback proposal at a price of about 1580 rupees per share. So positive for Bayer Crop Science. And the Coal Ministry has issued show cause notices to Jindal Steel and Power and the Gagan Sponge for delays in developing the block. So negative news and sentiment towards ASPL continues. Private equity firm Providence Equity Partners is increasing its stake in the cable operator Hathway Cable. So expect some positive reaction to the Hathway Cable stock in today's market. And also this PE firm is likely to invest about 110 crore in the firm, while the rest would be invested by the promoter group entity Hathway Investment Private Limited for 3.55% stake. Coming to the stock specific news, LNG from the US will cost to GAIL around about 10.5 per MMBTU, which is the cheapest that has been contracted by India in the past many years. So positive for GAIL India, one can go long there with a stop loss of 323 and a target of about 340 to about 347. And Lupin has received US health regulators approval for the generic version Glumetza, which could also give them exclusivity. So positive for Lupin, one can go long there with a stop loss of 872, target of about 917 to about 934. And ONGC has started the process of selling 26% stake in its soon to be commissioned aromatics unit in Mangalore as a part of its strategy to unlock value from the assets. So one can go long on ONGC with a stop loss of 302 and a target of about 317 to 323. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow morning.